me.
Lennard Ray.
Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see, we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, Boosie, I'm a Midwest king. Looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be a lie if I say I did it, that shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see you swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you know the mission. I had to know you, I'm 10. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me, I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me.
Lennard Ray.
Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see, we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, Boosie, I'm a Midwest king. Looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be a lie if I say I did it, that shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see your swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready and on a mission. I had to know you, I'm tempted. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me. I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my play ways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place. This nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes. This one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you were playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me.
Lennard Ray.
Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you were playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it. Boosie, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you have promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be a lie if I say I did it. That shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place. This nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes. This one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you were playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see your swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready and on a mission. I had to know you, I'm tempted. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me. I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my play ways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the
Yo, what's up, everybody? Sorry that I'm a little tardy, but we are here today on the Behind Them Sticks show. Really happy to see everybody. See some of you guys in the chat right now. I know some people are going to be showing up here soon, but welcome to another fantastic episode. Like I said, Behind Them Sticks on the TSWS Gaming channel on YouTube, and I have a fantastic guest to bring on today that I'm really excited to share with you guys. She is a content creator. She's been doing it for quite some time now. And I tell you what, her last video was fantastic. She is talking about some of the games that you can, mistakenly kind of forget about, like, kind of forgotten games that people don't really, people walk by or people don't exactly, give enough credit to. And when she mentioned Blood Rain, it got my memory jogging. I was just like, what? She said, or like an old school game right there. And I was super happy to hear it. But no further ado, let's go on ahead and get to it. Let's invite our guest here with us today. And we have Ariel Danan. Did I get that right?
Dannon.
Damn it. Oh, man. And she said it's not like the yogurt. So do not ask her if she's part of the yogurt crew, because she is not.
I already see some people who I know in chat. This is wonderful right now.
I know. This is wonderful. I'm really stoked to have you here today. We were having great conversation, and that's why we were late, because we were just kicking it and talking. Yeah. And I was like, shoot, we should probably be on stream right now talking about this stuff, because it's gaming related. It was really fantastic and pretty fascinating. But please introduce yourself. And what I want you to do first is just let everybody know, like, what social media platforms that you're on, and also like what gaming platforms that you like to play on. If you want to give them your gamer tag, you're more than free to. You don't have to, but totally up to you. Go on ahead and shoot.
Yeah, so primarily you guys can find me on YouTube at Huggable Hipster, also on Twitter at Huggable Hipster, Huggable Hipster on Instagram. I think it might be Huggable Hipster Gaming on Instagram. I don't go on there too often besides like posting game updates. And that's pretty much it. I don't spread myself too thin whenever it comes to like different platforms, because I don't feel like it's necessary. Oh, and Discord, I have that as well, which you guys, it's called like the Hipster Clan. So
dope. All right. Well, I'm really happy to see where this goes, because we got a lot to talk about this evening. First of all, tell a little bit of a little bit of something about your last upload that you had, because I was just kind of briefly talking about a little bit. Maybe mention a couple other games that you had in there that was something I might have missed.
So I also talked about the game Aria, which is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I forgot to do some research on this, but it was a game from Thailand, and it's an indie game, and it's mostly built on the concept that a lot of people get from Silent Hill type games, of where you have like this slow burn story, and it builds, and then you're just at this crescendo where it's like, oh crap, this is happening right now, right? So we have that one. We have Neverending Nightmares, which is basically like a side scroll click through type game, and the story on it is just so good. It's so immersive. It's kind of gory, but in like if a child were to draw like on an etch and sketch type gory, it still has its impact, you know. Another one is Remothered Tormented Fathers, and I cannot tell you how much I recommend that game, but I do have to put a trigger warning with that, because it does deal with intense topics of psychology and discussion of dissociative identity disorder. So,
well, speaking of psychology, you were talking a little bit about psychology and gaming and how much you enjoy kind of intertwining the two and how much they really actually kind of go together. So please speak on your favorite pieces when it comes to like psychology and gaming, and maybe use a game as reference to something that really kind of meant or cemented that this is really cool.
So just as a preface, I do have a degree in psychology. I went to St. Francis University, and I studied for 6 years to get the degree, and I'm very, very proud of that, which I was like, how am I going to use this degree? It's like, oh, okay, duh, gaming, why not? So,
well, congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I graduated in 2016. I feel like a grandma right now. So, the main game that I think of when I think of a psychological, like, basically horror game in a nutshell is Death Stranding. And when I say psychology, like I mean intense like psychological disorders, themes, philosophy, like you're getting into like the whole hodgepodge when you go into a game like that. And again, I'll say Remothered Tormented Fathers. It is the epitome of psychology, because you have a character who has dissociative identity disorder and who is also transgender. So it's fascinating to see the dichotomy of different conditions that go on in that game, while also seeing other types of games that branch out into different like pieces in psychology. Like, what was that one game? Last of Us. It has so much psychology in the game of where you have codependency, you have trust issues, you have PTSD, certain narcissistic complexes. So there's a lot that's going on there.
Well, I tell you guys listening right now, if you guys, excuse me, enjoy that kind of psychology in gaming, and also she pretty much revealed that she likes horror games and stuff like that as well. Yes. So if you like that kind of stuff, I highly recommend you guys go check out her channel, check out what she's been doing. She's been doing some fantastic work. How many subscribers you sitting at right now?
A little over 3,100.
Oh man, she must be rich. No, I'm just kidding. No. But she's doing very well right now. If you guys want to check out her page, you definitely can see it in the description. I also have her Twitter handles in there as well, so you guys can follow her on any of those platforms if you choose. But moving on, you were talking about being a grandma, and I think that's hilarious because you had just told me around the age of 10 you were owning a GameCube, and I don't think that's that old. So
yeah, because the thing is like I just turned 30 last October, and a lot of people still think I look like I'm 17, so I'm making it work for right now.
We'll make it work as long as you can, sister.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's so funny too, because it's like I remember for my 30th birthday, I went and I was like, I'm getting Demon Souls. I'm gonna do a playthrough on this. I'm so excited. I get to the counter at Walmart, and this girl, she couldn't have been at least like more than 18, 19 years old, and she's like, you have to go and how did she phrase it? You have to certify that you are over the age of 17 to play this because it has mature themes in it. I was like, sweetheart, I just turned 30 years old. And she's like, oh, rings up, puts him back.
Embarrassed.
It's like, okay.
Umbra in the chat asking if he can borrow $1. We're penny pinching over here, brother. We can't lend out no money.
In this economy, $1? Are you joking? More like 75 cents.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's asking a little much right now. Jeez Louise. But anyways, keeping it moving. So yeah, as I was saying, you said the GameCube was the first console that you ever like personally owned and had. So tell me a little bit about that experience. What was like the game that set it off for you with that console?
Resident Evil 1.
10 years old isn't super young like some people started, you know.
Well, that's the thing. I grew up in a Jewish household. Like, we were still going to Sabbath, and we were, like, fairly conservative when I was young. So I wasn't allowed to play, like, certain hot-button games that a lot of my friends were playing, like Lennard Ray, and I wasn't allowed to play that. My mom saw me that I was playing that on the PC, and back in those days, you couldn't get graphics cards. Like, that was non-existent for the general public. Like, what is someone going to do with a graphics card? So unless you were, like, really into game development or game design, they weren't really out there for the general public to use. You had to get specific model-built computers, and that's when Doom came around in the late 90s. That's when a lot of like Final Fantasy games, but they were only for like certain systems. When I played Resident Evil 1 Remake, that was the first game I ever played, and my dad was like, I just want to see what the graphics are like. When in reality, he just wanted me to get to play it. Because my dad's awesome. He was very forward with a lot of the stuff, and he still is. He helped me actually build my first PC, so I'm very excited about that.
Oh, man. I only hope to be that dad. I mean, I will be that dad when the time comes. But yeah, as of right now, I'm just hoping that my daughter really gets into gaming, and she's like, Dad, I need a computer. I'll be so much more excited for that than when she asks me for a car.
right, because it's a mutual interest. Like, it's one of those things of where, like, growing up, me and my dad bonded over gaming so much. Like, whenever I was young, like when I bought Resident Evil 4, my dad and I were there for the release at GameStop when I was a teenager. Like, it was
dope.
it was really intense and it was really awesome. So like it was that on the GameCube. It was Zelda and the Wind Waker on the GameCube. It was also oh god, this is gonna sound so bad. Scooby Doo on the GameCube. And I was playing Scooby Doo. Like that was my jam. Like it was so much fun. Like I would go around and I would just like go around my house imitating the lines from the game. And I remember back in the really early 2000s, like oh gosh, I think it was 2004, 2005, was when I first got into seeing playthroughs on YouTube. And I saw Scooby Doo being played through, and like this kid was like filming his television set. Wow. Because there were no capture cards back then. What were you gonna do? Like back in the early 2000s, you know, that content
Right.
creation wasn't even a thing back then. So I saw this one kid just filming with his camera or something, like him playing the game, and it was amazing. So yeah, it was Scooby Doo, Zelda, and Resident Evil.
Oh man. Okay. I mean, that's I mean, Scooby Doo is something, but I mean, other than that, amazing lineup.
Yeah.
But
I know, right?
that's pretty dope that holds a sentimental piece, you know, of your heart.
Yeah.
Because there's always that obscure game that you like that nobody else that everybody kind of turns their head about. Like for me, it was Chef's Love Shack on my N64, and it was
My
a
God, I
South
remember
Park game.
that.
That
I
game
remember
was
that.
that game was something. But
That game, it probably didn't age well, but it was good for its time.
oh, it was fantastic for its time. I just the mini games, the questions, the goof. It was like literally playing the video, or it's like a video game, but it felt like I was watching an episode at the same time. It was just hilarious. And I played it over and over and over and over. So that game was fantastic. And whenever I bring that up, most people are just like, whatever, or they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I have some pretty weird, obscure gaming knowledge that a lot of people would be like, where's that from? And I'm just like, it's good. I still retain my hipster-esqueness, so we're good.
The esque. Gotcha. So once you got your full dose of GameCube and you're ready to finally, push it on forward, do something else, what was the very next console that you turned to?
Laugh at me in the chat right now. You ready for this? It's pretty huge.
Okay, let's see.
It's the Wii.
The Wii. I thought by this time you would have been like
I
PlayStation 2
didn't-
or something, but you said the
didn't have a
Wii.
PlayStation for the first time until last year, and I didn't own an Xbox until I graduated from college in 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was actually, it's pretty sad because I was made fun of for gaming a lot of the time when I was in college because I brought my GameCube with me to college and I wanted to play Resident Evil. I did all this. I got so made fun of by my roommate because she was like, only guys do that. You shouldn't be like playing a Resident Evil game. What are you doing? I'm just like, first of all, stop talking like Kim Kardashian. It doesn't look good on you. Second of all, I can play and I can do whatever I want because I work hard and I get good grades, so don't be my mother. Like, what are you doing right now? Because the thing is that still back in, like, the not even mid-2000s, because in high school, forget about being a gamer girl in high school, it was impossible. But whenever you were gaming in college, like, I feel like people were being more lenient, but at the same time still stuck in their ways. So when I was a freshman in college in 2010, and I stayed there for, like, it was just 6 years because like I had to take breaks in between going to college. So I went from 2010 to 2016. And when I would play games in my room, they would be like, oh yeah, there's the mail. I'm like, what? I'm sorry. So yeah, it was pretty interesting going through college, loving gaming, but also being really studious. So I had to actually push gaming aside for a few years because I got so picked on for it by my roommates.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So like I would be like getting B's in classes and A's and like some C's here and there, and I would like have fun, and I would like go and do gigs, and I would be like a regular college student and not going to parties because parties really weren't my thing at all. But I wouldn't game on the side, and that got me really down because I was like, I am pushing away who I am to like please these other people who I don't even know. So that's one thing I realized a little bit later on.
Wow. How about the psychology in that?
Honestly, though, no, because you know what's funny though? At first, I was a biology and English major, and then I got to my first anatomy class, and I was like, "No, I'm not doing this. This is too difficult." So I went to psychology instead.
Okay. Okay. So switch. But like, when did you find that, you were just like sick of the crap and you just decided, you know what? I'm busting it back out. This is who I am. I'm proud.
Yeah, it was my final year of college because it was right before graduation, and I was just like, I just want to try to do YouTube. I want to try this. There's a long story to it, but the short end of it was I want to try to do this. I've always wanted to do YouTube. I've always wanted to try to do this thing because I've tried multiple times. It never really worked out, and I was always just shy and not secure with myself. So whenever I went over to try it this time, this was the one that stuck. So my first video I ever put out was April 15th, April 5th, 2016, and it was Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Part 1.
Ooh.
No camera, no nothing, horrible mic, on my crap top from school, and that was what made me passionate about everything.
Wow. That's a hell of a way to jump into it right there. Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, man.
By that time, I had my own room in the dormitory and everything, and I was just doing what I needed to anyway. I was having, I think it was 4 classes and my thesis at that time, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to what I really love since I have a lot of free time right now, and I'm only primarily doing online classes with the exception of maybe 2 that were in person, but I'm still on campus. So I thought, you know what? Let's try this. Let's see what happens. Let's see what works. Fell back in love with gaming all over again.
Oh my God. So then what was it like going from that GameCube that followed you to college and everything,
Yeah.
and then now you are getting onto the Switch, or not Switch, the Wii?
Well, okay, so the Wii I got when I was in high school. Keep in mind, because when I finished, yeah.
Why did you bring the GameCube instead of the Wii?
Because it was OG and I was a hipster, duh.
Okay.
That's
Got it.
that's the thing.
Honest.
I wanted people. That's what people. I want people to know I was business. Okay, when they saw me, they should know that I'm old school.
All right. So I mean, obviously you really loved that GameCube, but what was it about the Wii that got you even on to it? Were you interested in it when you received it, or was it something that you personally bought yourself, or how did you come into this? Because it's very rare. Even if you claim old school or whatnot, but it's very rare for somebody to be like, I got this newer console and I'm gonna take the older one with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you had your PS5 and you're like, you know what? I'm taking the PS4 with me.
It's interesting because it's I didn't know I was getting a Wii until it was, I think, my 16th birthday. It was around the time that I was graduating from high school, and my parents got it for me as a graduation present. It was for the Wii, and I played Resident Evil 4 on it, and that was the first game I ever played on it, and that was the main reason that I played it, was for Resident Evil 4.
Okay. So
yeah.
You weren't big into Wii Sports. It wasn't any Mario Party or
it was no, I couldn't stand Mario Party. It was too boring for me. I don't like that game at all. So whenever I was playing it, when I played the Wii Sports, I was like, this is creepy. I don't want any part of this whatsoever. They're just making weird sounds when they're doing the Wii Tennis, and I just wasn't a part of it. I wasn't with it. So whenever I played it, I was like, oh yes, Resident Evil. Yes, I will take a dose of that. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, so let me run to the chat real quick before we continue on, because I'm really interested to hear what's next. I'm wondering if it's the Xbox or the 360 or the One or whatnot. But before we get into that, let me just go on ahead and shout out Infinite Umbra. I see you up in here. Too Big, Stank Maw, Koopa Clips. Jeez Louise, you had to say that, didn't you? You had to say that. He said Game Pass is for the dead. Out of your mind. The disrespect. But anyways, keeping it moving. Tortoise Hawaii. What's up? Doc Dark 1985 says, "What's up, people? Here to view the best interviewer in the game. What's up, Ham Solo?" And you always call me Han Solo. Ham Solo, sir. But it's all good. I don't know how many times I've been called that throughout the years now. But also, Chris Post, what's cracking? Good to see you here. She's actually going to be on the show next week. So she's probably here just looking around, seeing what things
He's great.
looking like.
I love that
girl. but she seems pretty dope. She seems pretty passionate. She's also a gamer with a family like myself, and that really got me interested. And so I had to reach out to her and ask her if she's going to be on the show. So in case anybody's wondering, in case anybody's wondering, she'll be on the show next week, same time as this one. And then the following week, I'm having Dre Watson. In case anybody knows who that is, I'm going to be having him on the show the following week. So thank you, everybody. But let's go on ahead and keep it moving. So the very next one was, drum roll,
Xbox One.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And the first game I played on that, the very first game I played on that was Ori and the Blind Forest, and I fell in love. I fell in love.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people fell in love with that game. It's a big time game.
And then there were 2 free games that came with it, and they became, I think, 2 of one of my favorite games ever was Ori and the Blind Forest and Gears of War: The Ultimate Edition, and I fell in love with the story of Gears of War.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I love it. I am such a Gears of War fan. It's unbelievable.
So which one's your favorite one? This is the crucial question right here.
It'll have to be between...
First of all, have you played them all?
Not all of them. I've played Ultimate Edition, and I've played 3.
Okay.
And I have to say between the 2, it's Ultimate Edition, because the story of that is what got me hooked.
My favorite one, now that I've played them all, is probably going to be 2.
Okay.
2 is really good.
I've heard the story is really good.
Man, the story is really good. And 3, the story is really good as well. Judgment, terrible. I didn't like it, in my opinion. And then 4, the story was meh, but the graphics were insane.
Yeah.
Were absolutely insane for that. And just what they did with Unreal 4, mind-blowing at that time. And then obviously 5 looks fantastic as well. Pretty good game, pretty good story. But if you're going to ask me my favorite story, I'd have to say 2. Mr. Joanna Dark in the chat. I see you, brother. He says Gears 3. So 1 for you, 2 for me, 3 for him. No one's wrong. It just is what it is. It just is what it is.
That's the beauty of an opinion. I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So tell me a little bit more about your Xbox experience. Did you get the one with the Kinect? So did you have that, or did you just have the Xbox One? Was it the big old VCR one, or was it the newer White S or X?
It was the big old honking VCR one.
Okay.
I remember whenever that came out, and I was like, okay, this looks really interesting. And when I was starting up YouTube, I was really taking it seriously. Like, from the moment I started it, I took it like a business. Because my parents are both entrepreneurs, so I learned from the best. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to make a success out of this, if I'm going to push it the way I need it to work, basically, I need to treat it like a business. So basically, during that time, I was also almost homeless with my family. So we had to move. We were in that process and stage of moving to upstate New York and doing all this kind of different stuff. And it was a crazy time. So during the time of when I was learning the ropes of YouTube and learning how to integrate everything and learning about game capture, just all of that in itself, I was learning how to use the Xbox as well. So the Xbox was my first love, and it's always going to be one of the things that sentimentally I will always love because it was my start. So whenever even when I started recording for the first time on I think it was my MacBook, my 10-year-old MacBook that I had. That was when I first started doing like proper recordings for YouTube on a Screencast-O-Matic where it still had the watermark thing attached to it back in like 2016, 2017. But yeah, no, like when I started recording footage from Xbox, I was like, I feel like a YouTuber. This is awesome.
Wow.
So it was really cringy at first, but like that's why like I leave all my old videos up, because I want people to see like why, like where everything came from, because that's the gold of it. Like I didn't just succeed overnight. There was like almost now a 7-year journey to get to this.
Gotcha. Wow. I mean, that's quite a journey, though. I mean, if you sit back and think about it, I mean, the like everything has probably changed drastically from when you
Yes.
first started. What like as a content creator, I know I'm going to be asking some content creator questions here in a little bit, but since I have this one in my head right now, from somebody that's kind of, you know, fairly new to this myself, and maybe some of you guys in the chat as well and whatnot, from someone that's fairly new to this, what's something that you've held onto that has been, you know, there from almost the start?
Do you mean mentally, or like a sense of peace, like something that's physical?
Like really anything. So if it's like a catchphrase, something that you do every stream, or just I mean just anything really, that like maybe it didn't start right at the beginning, but then you kind of caught something and then like started bringing it in, and just like at the end of every episode of Behind Them Sticks, I always say keep it gaming or keep it moving.
Okay,
It's
so
just something
it was
I say.
something. So it was a catchphrase that actually one of my community members came up with. It was "Stay casually nerdy," and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And I say it at the end of every one of my videos. Ever since I started, I was like, see you in the next one. Stay casually nerdy, and I'll see you guys in the next one, because it was always something really cute that I thought this can always be something that is integrated. Because I'll be honest, the main reason why I started YouTube was not for myself, but it was to grow a community. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's something that I've always seen that so many different YouTubers had, and I've always wanted to grow a community. Like a garden, I've just wanted there to be like this system of where I was, it's going to sound weird to say, but that I was dependent on, and I could always go to this community and see them depend on one another. Because when it comes down to it, like every single YouTuber that is out there is there because of their community. And I feel like that's not spoken about enough, because it's like, yes, you have your own successes, you have your own failures, you have your own everything, but when it comes down to it, it's your community that helped you grow to where you are, basically.
Absolutely.
So
Oh
that,
man.
that catchphrase in itself is a representation of the community, representation of what I am always going to keep close to me, because it's like the only thing that's changed is my intro and a little bit of like including stuff in my outro, but that part of my outro will never change.
Man, I'm hoping we're saying some stuff that kind of helps. I see Infinite Umbra said I need to get a catchphrase. I love Doc Dark's catchphrase. It's just so perfect. I'm not gonna lie. He on every video he says, you know, I'm Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this, and he does that movement every time. He says there's levels to this, and and just that little simple thing right there just relaxes me. It's just like I'm here. I'm watching his show.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
I actually, yeah. And it's interesting because I just glanced over. I saw someone say, "Is she primarily an Xbox gamer?" No, I game on all consoles.
yeah. So
I just want to make that abundantly clear, because it's like I am an all console, PC, Switch, Nintendo 64 type gamer.
Yeah. So I mean, you see it in her picture. She's holding both controllers. She actually, as she kind of started earlier, saying, you know, she is rocking it on the PC quite a bit. And we were talking before the show, and she was talking all about like keyboard and mouse and stuff like that. And that just solidified to me that I'm a console gamer, because when it comes to keyboard and mouse, I'm already not the best at Call of Duty or Halo or stuff like that. So you throw me on a keyboard and mouse, I know it'll probably get me way better if I practice. But you know how you run around and you got like 3 kills and you died 10 times and you're just like ready to just like go nuclear on your keyboard? That's when I just shove my keyboard away and I just grab my controller and I'm like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm just not doing this anymore. I'm not going through this pain. I need to win, damn it. I need to win. But yeah, she definitely plays everywhere. If you check out her content, you'll see that she's grabbing games from all different directions. The only thing I seen her kind of snide a little bit was that Switch. What'd you do that for? I seen that. Don't act like you didn't do it now.
Because the thing is that the people this is going to get some people pissed off at me, but people expect us to be happy with a Pokemon game that looks like it's from a PlayStation 2 era. Like, I'm playing Pokemon for the first time in 20 years because I haven't played Pokemon since Gen 2. So it's like I haven't been interested enough to play Pokemon since Gen 2. And I'm playing Scarlet, and it has me so disappointed because it's like, it looks cute, kind of cringy, but it's like, why does this look like it's from Gen 2 PlayStation? Like, literally, they have Game Freak has the money. They have the money to do everything in power to make something look like The Last of Us. And here we are making sandwiches for people that look like we're in, like, the little, like, wee huts and everything like that. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, that has probably been the biggest gripe on that game, is just how, I mean, but it sold like, it sold like freaking, like Big Macs.
It sold because of nostalgia, not because it's good. Like, it sold because of nostalgia, not because it's good. Let's be real here.
I guess so, but it's just nuts to me. Like, I mean, it happens. It almost seems like every year that a game that is just not up to par somehow just blows it out of the water. It happens at least
I don't get,
once a year.
The thing is, like, I did a stream for that game because I was like, you know what, I want to give this a chance, and that I got that game actually as a Hanukkah present from my mother because she was like, have you reviewed this one yet? You should probably check it out. And I'm like, thank you so much, I appreciate that.
That's
sweet.
And is so sweet.
I love it. My parents know exactly what to do because it's like I currently like live with my family because I help out with stuff and everything like that. So my form of payment is them actually getting me video games, and I love that so much.
That is dope.
Yeah, it's very sweet. And like anytime that they see a title that I should review or something like that, they're like, "Hey, we got this. Survey, you work hard. Here you go." And I'm just like, I love this. This is absolutely wonderful. And I was going through in the process of reviewing it. I did my first live stream in a hot minute as like an end of year type thing. We all went through. I saw the beginning of the game, and I was like, they're incorporating some cool stuff into this. But as someone who's like played Pokemon since it came out, basically, I don't see the appeal of where Nintendo is going with this exactly.
I see you getting it how you live. So, all right. So,
yeah.
That was interesting. That was a really interesting veer off. And see, that's what I was talking about when I sent you the questions. I'm like, man, exactly. I have these questions right here, but we probably won't get to all of them because I'm going to veer off a whole lot. But anyways, keeping it moving, the Xbox really helped you out in the content creating area is what it sounds like, which is really dope. But I'm interested in when PlayStation kind of came up, because I mean, I know you're really digging what you got now, but it's wild that like you didn't get really into PlayStation until recently, I'd say.
Last year, for my 29th birthday, I got my first ever PlayStation console, and it was
PS4.
Yep.
Okay, and was in which one was it? Was it the Pro or just
it was the base one? It was just a regular one.
Okay, so you had a little jet
and I fell in love with it. Actually, no, it didn't sound too bad. It sounded more like a gentle takeoff instead of like veering into a cliff. So it sounded pretty good, actually. Like in the backs of my videos, you could barely hear anything.
So you're saying it was working, but it wasn't an overdrive.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the last gen consoles. I mean, let's admit it. Everybody knows it. They were both underpowered when they came out. It was a shame.
Obviously.
My Xbox One X, not just the VCR one, but the higher level one, right? I was able to play Borderlands on that and kill my console. Like not like permanently kill it, but I could shoot off a couple different guns and like switch weapons quick enough and keep shooting guns that it would shut off my console and like my light would start flashing. And
oh my god.
I figured out it was that game specifically that I could do that with, because when I hopped online and played it with other friends and whatnot, and I had my Series X at the time, I put my Series X to the test, right? And I was like, let me see if I can shut this thing down like I did my One X. And in trying to do that, I shut his One X off.
Gosh.
I shut his One X off and my Series X was fine. And then when he hopped back in the party, he was like, I need to get that Series X.
I do have to say, by the way, your face kind of froze right now on my end. I just want to make sure it's okay for the live stream.
It's cool over here.
Okay. Oh, now you're okay. Apparently, you just needed to do like a little bit of a dance or something.
Yeah, just a little dance. Okay,
I do actually want to make it very clear. I do want to make it very clear though, because like I got the Series X on launch, and I could it was impossible to find a PS5 because they were just all unicorns at the time. So I didn't get a PS5 until my most recent birthday, actually, for my 30th this past year in October.
Wow. Okay, so it's like super fresh where you're at now.
It is, and it's way better than the PS4. Like, this truly is what I call a console upgrade. Like, the Xbox Series X, it's a console upgrade as far as, like, the, the graphical updates, the processing, and how you can just have quick share and everything. I think that's pretty cool, but controller design is the same. It's pretty much the same, only a little bit of an upgrade. PS5, however, is leaps and beyonds of an update from the PS4. You have a new controller, you have a new integrated everything. Like, the processing speed is really amazing. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, it's interesting because this is why people call me a shill for PlayStation.
Yeah, you got Doc Dark in the chat saying, wait a minute.
Listen, it's my opinion though. That's the thing. Everybody has an opinion, like an asshole. Everybody has one. They just don't like it sometimes, and that's okay.
So
okay.
So to me, I hear some of what you're saying. But let me keep it all the way a buck. I didn't have a PS4. I didn't want one. I was completely an Xbox guy for a while, for a hot minute. Like I told you in the past when I was young, I had PlayStation 1 and 2 over and over and over again. Like, I'd sell it and then buy it back. Sell it, buy it back. Same with my Dreamcast. I owned like 3 different Dreamcasts. This might be like my 3rd or 4th one that I currently have right now. Xbox, I've bought like 2 different ones of those. But like, and then 360s, I've had like 4 or 5 of those things. And only one of them red ringed.
That's impressive.
Right, it was impressive, and they were all the old editions that did red ring. They were never any of the newer edition ones. So I'm sorry to some of y'all that had lots of them and had to return them, but I only had one. And when I returned it and got an Xbox One with it, and they didn't know I had a red ring because I knew that it worked for the first like 15 to 20 minutes, and then it went to red ring. So when they went to go play it, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is fine." And I was like, there you go, GameStop. Have a good time. But they were doing some crazy deal where you get like $100 or $200 off Xbox One if you trade in a Xbox 360. So I was just like, I'm
Oh,
sorry, but I got to do this. I mean, I feel bad for the poor person that might end up getting this console, but I got to do this. And this person that gets this console can return it, get their money back. I'm sorry I did it to you, but I had to do it. I'm saving, $150, $200.
yeah. I mean, that's but it's some ninja work, and I can appreciate ninja work.
Ninja work. There you go. I like that. But yeah, I didn't have a PS4, so I can't really speak on that too much. But the PS5 is definitely like the hardware on it, and some of the stuff it does is leaps and bounds dope. I got to stick up for my Xbox though a little bit and say we do have fantastic software on that stuff that
Not denying that.
and see, this is my thing is like each one of the consoles really irritate me in different ways. Like the share feature for Xbox, terrible. They just said that they did an update on it. Sure.
Yeah, why not? Let's go with this.
It still sucks. I'm sorry.
It's like whenever the person he shall remain nameless says it just works. Well, it just works. Hasn't been working for some time, buddy.
PlayStation, what irritates me about it is that they waited until the generation already started to work on backwards compatibility.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I think
sense.
PlayStation really likes their exclusivities, and I don't blame them because sometimes exclusivities work in certain circumstances. But when it comes to games like Stranding and Bloodborne and Returnal and Demon Souls, the games that are extraordinarily popular, it makes no sense to put, an exclusivity mark on that in particular. If you have something like Blood Rain, or if you have something like Cyberpunk, where it's overly popular, but there's still some things about it that need to stay special, then I feel like exclusivities work in those certain circumstances. So,
man, all I'm asking for is get that backwards compatibility to work. I'm just super frustrated with it because it's like I have a ton of PlayStation 2, I have some PlayStation 1 games, I have a good amount of PS3 games, and it frustrates me that I can take Max Payne from my original Xbox and throw it into my Series X and it plays it up-resed and everything, but I can't take something like Resistance from the PS3 and throw that into my PS5, and it's nuts because the PS3 was backwards compatible.
Exactly.
The first one was. The first
that's
launch
the thing of why, I feel as if there should be more accessibility to be able to modulate easier on the PS5, because you can, and let's forget about, backwards compatibility for a second. Let's make it easier and more accessible on PC to have different games from the PS1, 2, and 3 era on there. Because the thing is like, for the first time last year, I played the very first Silent Hill game, and I emulated it on my PC, and I played it with a PS4 controller on my PC because that's how easy it was to modulate it and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is incredible. They need to make this more well known for the PC. And by the way, for anybody who wants to know how to modulate that, download the Silent Hill game and on PC and emulate it with DuckStation. You're welcome.
What's the big deal with that?
DuckStation is very easy to use, and it's just a software when you download the Silent Hill game, you can download it right into DuckStation, and makes it 10 times easier to modulate. And you can actually make the controls either work on your mouse and keyboard or work on your controller, and it doesn't matter what controller you use.
Oh, that's pretty dope. That is pretty cool. Kevin in the chat actually said something that I'm interested to know since you had the PS4 last generation. He says, I don't like the PS5 dashboard much. I thought the PS4, he said, I don't like the PS5's dashboard much. I like the PS4's was pretty great. And I've heard that so much, and I don't understand it. Can you help me understand why why like the dashboard on the PS4 was so much better? Because I've heard this from other like PlayStation fans, like, "Hey, bring back the old dashboard," and I'm just like, I wonder what that was because I never owned a PS4. I don't know the
No,
difference.
they're crazy. Like, why would you bring back that dashboard? That was awful. Like, I'm sorry. Like, why would you bring that dashboard back? It was god awful.
Why
For
was it
me,
awful?
at least, because there was no smoothness to it. Like, I get people want customizations and everything like that, but for me, like the way that the sleekness is right now of the PS5's dashboard and how everything is set up is eons better than it was with the PS5 rather is eons better than the PS4's dashboard. So for me, I'm kind of at a loss of why they would think it's better.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not just Kevin saying this in the chat at all. I've heard a lot of different people say this. So that's the only reason why I brought that up, because I thought that was kind of interesting and I wanted to know what the difference was because, like I said, I never owned one.
It's because you can customize the themes on it, and that's basically it. Like, if it's about themes, then it's pretty much it's a throwaway thing. It's just like, I'm sorry, please. Like, why is it? Okay, this is going to be me going on a bit of a rant, but people are so picky about certain things. It's like it should matter how your game works on the system instead of a theme that you can throw up and you're probably going to take down like a week later.
All right, fair enough. That was
tea spilled.
That was passionate. All right, so now that we kind of caught up with most of the consoles that you owned and whatnot, I want you to tell me like which one of them all is like, if somebody said, I'm gonna give you a console of choice to be buried with.
Yes.
Which one are you going down the ship with? Is it the PC? Is it the new PS5, or is it the nostalgia GameCube?
Gosh. Well, I don't have the GameCube anymore. A fan of mine wanted me to sign it and give it to them, so I did that.
Rich.
Let's see.
Look at you, rich. No, I'm just kidding. But congratulations, that's pretty dope. I mean,
yes,
and
absolutely.
and for you to like have somebody that likes you enough to be like, yo, I want to take that off of your hands and have that for myself. Like you must hit a soft spot. So congratulations.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
That's the thing. Cool. Like I love the fact that I was able to do that for them. They were also a friend of mine too for a while. So I was like, you know what? This is going to a good home. I know where it's going to, and I was very happy to do it. But yeah, I wouldn't technically call PC a console because I use it for lots of other things like game development, video editing, all that kind of stuff. So if I'm going to be buried with anything, it's going to be my PS5. I know that's such a shock.
Oh, dang. Gotcha.
It's the love of my life. It's the love of my life. I'm going to die on this hill.
Oh, man. So, I mean, it's pretty early in the generation. What if Nintendo drops something that you're just like, oh, my God? Will that change?
Even possible?
Okay. I'm
sorry. The thing is that I knew a new Zelda game is going to be coming out, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, okay, that's fine. But the thing is that when it comes to Nintendo, I mainly play them because a lot of the games that I already own on Xbox, PlayStation and PC, I can play on the go. And that's what the appeal for me is for the Nintendo Switch, is on the go play. If I'm traveling or if I'm, relaxing and I'm just want to chill and everything like that in the living room or in my bed or whatever it is, I get to just chill with that game. I recently got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for the Switch. It's the best thing I ever decided to do for a portable gameplay.
Man, Doc Dark is dying in the chat right now. He's
I live to make people seethe, okay? This is my goal in life. I live for this right now. So I'm watching chat and I'm just like, ooh, T-Sep, yes, honey. Perfect.
Oh, man, she is. She comes off all nice and everything, and then a hour into the show, she's ready to go Freddy's on somebody.
Oh, it's why people call me a bitch. It's okay.
No, you're good. But as I said earlier, I wanted to talk a little bit about content creating. I know we kind of touched on some of the topics a little bit. You talked about, dorm room and recording and doing all the stuff that you did with the Xbox and whatnot. But
Right.
what really specifically got you into content creating in the first place? I mean, I know you said that you watched that one person recording, his gameplay, and that was a big deal to it. But what actually pushed you to put money into it?
It was actually before I started even recording any YouTube videos, and I'm gonna get kind of sentimental here, so bear with me.
Okay.
It's one of those things of where oh, he's really pissed off in the chat. Jesus Christ. I offended an Xbox player. Oh no, what are we gonna do? I just noticed that right now. So
Doc Dark's he's a good dude. He's just giving you a hard time.
I love it. I love it so much. I live to piss people off. It's like I don't know. It's a talent I have. So I want to thank the Academy first of all. But when I got into content creation, it was because I saw a video from Markiplier called "Believe in Yourself." And I was like, I want to be able to just see what, what's going on. Why was this video recommended to me in the first place? It was an old video from his. It was from 2013. And when I saw it, he said something that really stuck out to me. And it basically was the metaphorical kick in the ass I needed to get shit done. And he said, somebody's going to see a fire burning inside of you. And they're going to be like, oh my God, you got to put that person out and everything like that. They're on fire. And some people are going to be like, wait, they're burning, or wait, they're onto something. And I want to be that person that's onto something. So it went through so many attempts, trial and error. And I was able to finally get to a place I am right now where I know my content, confident in it, and I can say it's because Markiplier, he was the one that motivated me in the first place to really do what I wanted and needed to do for myself.
Nice. So that sounds like that it's crazy how you'll hear all these, thoughts, paragraphs, and sometimes it's as simple as a sentence. Just to like you'll be watching something and you'll be like, man, a lot of this stuff was cool, but it's crazy that most of the time you remember a sentence of it, and it's the most powerful piece of an article or a movie, TV show, whatever, some live speaker, as you were talking about. That's it. It's insane how moving something can be, and how just one little piece of that puzzle can drive you to being a millionaire, to being just crazy well known, to being an insane thug. Whatever you whatever you listen to and decide to decipher into into motivation is just wild. That like the ability just to be able to do that.
The thing is that because of starting YouTube, and I don't want to say it's strictly because of it, but one of the reasons that I was able to find whatchamacallit, the really the motivation to really get shit done, as they say, is I stopped drinking. I've been sober now for almost 7 years. I stopped, taking medications that I was on. I stopped smoking pot. I still need medicinal marijuana sometimes to help me with my insomnia, but that's basically it. I just have really bad asthma too, and that's just the only bad part about my entire system right now. So it's one of those things of where because of everything that I have done for myself is because I wanted to be there for my community and be there on YouTube. I was like, I can't be a junk and be on YouTube. I can't, be a less version of myself if I'm committed to a community on YouTube. I need to be, not to sound, it's not, meant in a comedic way, but I need to be this strong, independent, go-getting woman who needs to put her community first and myself second. Because when I think about it, I want people to know that they can count on me. And they can't count on me if I'm still drinking. They can't count on me if I'm still abusing prescription medication. So I need to show people first by, showing them an example.
Now, that's deep. That is super
Yeah.
deep. Yeah, I mean, because once you separate yourself from a lot of, distraction, distortion, whatever you want to call it, you really get to figure out who you are and figure out where you are needed. And that's probably one of the like most detrimental parts is figuring out where am I actually needed in this, freaking lineup, this puzzle that is life, right? Like, like what piece am I and where do I fit? And
That's the thing too. It's
pretty
like
cool.
I don't put on a facade for people. The version of me that people get online is the version that I showcase to people in the real world. Because I don't believe in any of that bullshit of trying to put on a face or a facade for people because I've done too much of that over the course of my life to get people to like me. So if that doesn't work, then I just need to be myself and be who I truly am meant to be. Because the fact of the matter is that if people don't like you for you, they're not going to like you anyway.
At
So why
all.
put on a mask, you know? And that's the thing of like, I'm a woman in this industry. It makes it 10 times harder for me to also, on top of that, be real. Because once I'm real and once I am vulnerable and once I am showing people without the mask anything, then they either take me or leave me as I am. And that's the most rewarding thing about this job, is because people then get to be like, well, okay, cool. I may not like her opinion, but I can respect her.
Absolutely. People slip up every day because it's too hard to lie. It literally is.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
just too hard.
absolutely.
If you just say what you got to say, keep it move. I mean, that's why keep it gaming or keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in this area, but like in the whole grand picture of everything out, even outside of gaming and whatnot, it's just like, how long do you really think you can keep up? When like once you start lying, it's hard to keep it up, and then you're constantly like throwing a blanket over here, throwing a blanket over there, and then
Yeah.
Once you get caught, it's like the most embarrassing thing ever. So why even deal in that realm?
I do have to say one side note because Chris mentioned this in the comments. She's like, okay, who turns off their PC? I do every single night. It saves your PC's health, okay? Just make a note of that. Every single night I turn my PC off. It might be on color changer right now, but don't let that fool you, okay? Don't let that fool you.
Is it off?
Business. No, it's on.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say it's off with lights. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, I just like do the light thing back and forth because I have a button down here that controls all the different lights and everything like that. So I could just keep it on whichever mode I want it.
Yeah, I mean, I do know what Chris is talking about though, because most people they never turn off their PCs. They just let that sucker run. And I know. What? No,
It's
go
the most
ahead.
irritating thing ever for me. It's the most irritating thing ever for me because like I clean my PC like twice every month, and for me my PC's health, it's like a child to me. Like how could what? No, you gotta take care of it.
Oh man, passionate about your stuff. I'm happy you
I
keep it
am.
safe, keep it clean, keep it good, but let's keep it moving. So the next section I like to kind of call like more of me just like fast questions, I guess.
Okay.
But right before we get into that, I want you to do some shout outs for me. This is a new thing I brought on a couple weeks ago. And when I say, when I say go here in just a second, I just want you to shout out some of the people that helped you get to where you are. So whether it was, family, friends, other content creators, whatever, shout them out. Go.
Okay. All right. My parents, obviously, they're the best thing that ever happened to me. I also wouldn't be where I am right now. Travis tries. He had me on one of his videos, and literally, that's what took off part of what I do on YouTube. Daz Black, he is a content creator. Right now, sits at I think a few million subscribers, and had me in multiple of his videos. Really cool
Wow.
dude. Really amazing person. Who's the other person? It's like you're nominated for an award and you can't think of things on the spot.
No, take your time. This isn't a rush thing. I got plenty of time.
Let's see. Let's see. Who else? A few of my friends from college, they know who they are. They're probably watching this right now. My friend Brian, he's also a content creator. Recently became friends with him. Really cool dude. Another friend who's basically just like a recent close friend of mine, Hiyauska. He's a voice actor on YouTube. Really cool dude.
All right, stop.
Gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Oh gosh. No. Oh gosh. Baker Girl Steph. I've known her for years. She's a baker on YouTube. She has a little over 10,000 subscribers. Absolutely wonderful content creator. Primarily does a lot of baking with cookies and cakes and everything. Makes me hungry every single time I see her channel. And yeah, there's a bunch of other content creators that I'm probably forgetting right now. That's the crux of it. And
Yeah,
and Roberto Blake.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. So there are a lot of people out there to thank, and that's kind of one of the main reasons I like to do this, is just to kind of bring people together, see where they came from, see what they see what they're all about. Whether it's past or present, I like to just kind of figure it all out, or the best of my knowledge, and then, as I say, keep it moving. But anyways, as for the next question, I want to know like what you're playing currently right now. Like, what's the game?
Well, I just finished The Devil in Me from Dark Pictures Anthologies. One of the best of their games. So good. It's very, very good. I love the game a lot. One of the choices in the game I swear people are going to hate me for. So we'll see how that pans out. But there are several games that I'm playing right now because I review like 6 games at a time. So right now I'm currently I have left on the roster Hollow Knight, Guardians of the Galaxy, Callisto Protocol, and Demon Souls.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're working.
Yeah, I review like roughly from 4 to 6 games every cycle that I do. So probably when there's one game left, I'm going to see what the next 6 games are for me to review next. So yeah, that's the cycle every time.
So here's another content kind of creator question. When it comes to like reviewing games, is that something that somebody sends you to review, or do you just go get the game and review it, or has it been both?
It's been a mixture of both. Like, for example, my most recent one, that was a game that was sent to me. It was a pretty big one called Moltres Assistant. I know the developer and the publisher, so they were able to send me a review copy of it. And that was the first time, like, I was like a major indie game, and I was like, this is really amazing. I wasn't on embargo or anything like that, so I could take my time with the review, which is cool. But normally, every single game that I review, besides like a few indie games here and there, I buy or I'm gifted, from family and everything like that. Like, there are some that my community will gift to me, and that's like a whole other thing. Like, they send different kinds of games because they, I want to see you review this one, or I want to see you review this game on Steam. Like, recently I was given Code Vein by one of my mods, and I cannot wait to play that game.
Oh my goodness. And then Doc Dark in the chat said, just sub to her channel. Seems
Nice, thank
pretty
you.
natural. Not much Sony stuff. I like it. He's had it. Oh, man, she gonna reach through her camera and beat the brakes out of you, Doc.
Right, everything unholy.
Oh man, he's a funny dude. I had him on this podcast early, I think last year or late the year before. I don't remember. I mean, I've done over 100 interviews now, so I don't even know half the time. I mean, I know who I've interviewed, but I don't know when exactly I did them all, unless you ask me what happened last week.
Dementia.
It is. It 100% kind of is. But yeah. And then Kevin says, yeah, she makes great stuff. So,
thank you. I appreciate that.
Some love is in the chat, and I love to see it.
Ariel is the new Chris Judge. I will happily take that. That is my Everest.
Kevin says,
thank you.
Chris Judge wishes. Keep it together, girl. Keep it together.
Actually, you know what's pretty funny? His wife follows me on Twitter.
That's insane. Wow.
I was like, I got the notification before. I'm like, I like this. This is cool stuff right here.
And what's up, Loco Zaki just hopped in.
Hey, I know who that is.
Yeah, I figured you probably did because I've never seen this person before. But I'm happy to have you in my space. So what's up? What's cracking? Good to see you. Hit that like button if you enjoy this. And if you enjoy this show at all, go on ahead and hit that sub button because we're going to keep pumping out content all year long. And it's going to be just like this. And I have other shows that I do as well that I'd love you to be part of. And yes, I'm talking to you, Miss Dannon.
Oh, well, thank you. Those glasses like a librarian.
Yeah, you really do. You really do. But anyways.
There was actually one thing I do have to say really quickly. I posted a picture of myself on Twitter, and I said, guess my profession, without actually knowing what my profession is. Everyone said a librarian. I'm like, what? Okay, cool.
I'd say that's probably a good thing.
I mean, I get to shush people, so that's cool, I guess. But, sorry.
All right, what would you say of all time now is the game that helped you, like, as a person the most? I know, and I'm going to disqualify one game. I'm disqualifying the psychology game that you were talking about.
Oh, Death Stranding?
No. The other one that you said where the person's like transgender. And...
Okay, remothered, yeah. Okay.
I want you to
say any game. Say the question one more time.
A game that like helped you, like, I'd say emotionally or mentally, like something that really stuck with you.
Oh, okay, that's easy. These two games I'm going to have to lump into one because they both affected me tremendously and impacted me in ways that I cannot even express. Last of Us Part 1 and 2.
Wow, okay. I mean, those were fantastic games. Which one do you think, if you had to pick one, to be more monumental?
Last of Us Part 2. Definitely. Like, I never cried so much on camera.
Wow.
Yeah, because I played both of them on my channel, and I probably shouldn't have gone back to back like I did. But
I did the same. I went back to back.
Yeah, that was a bad idea for both of us. It was one of those things.
Problem.
Well, the thing is that like it wasn't that there was anything wrong. It was more or less the fact of where I knew that certain scene was coming. And for me, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I bawled my eyes out on camera. And I played both of them on camera. And that's the thing, where people saw the emotional landscape of where it went from game 1 to game 2. And I made a promise to myself that I would play those games on camera, because when I went into playing PlayStation, that was when I owned a PlayStation 4 for the first time. So I got to get all the games that I missed out on for PlayStation, and it was very sentimental for me. So the fact that, like, when I got to Last of Us Part 2, I was gearing up for something emotional because so many people were talking about it at this point. So many people were saying, you have to get into this game. And I didn't realize just how powerful emotionally it would have been for me, because I'm not a big crier on camera. Like, I really don't like to do that a lot of the time. I don't like emotion. I don't really like diving into it. So when I cry on
because
camera,
you like psychology, but you don't like to display emotion. That's interesting.
There's a lot of trauma. So there's just a lot of trauma under here. But no, it's like, for me, it's like I more or less like to keep it together, because whenever I showcase something on camera, I want it to be a coherent train of thought rather than emotional babblings coming from my own mindset. So when I play something and it gets me emotional, that means that I'm really hooked on it. So when that got me emotional, not once, not twice, but multiple times within a single playthrough, that's when I knew that this game was going to be forever something that I will always think of and I will always be grateful for. Because there's so many lessons to take from, especially the second game. You're learning about PTSD. You're learning about codependency issues. You're learning about all these different things that make a human being choose something just out of pure anger, frustration, and revenge. And it is, I think, one of the best descriptors of how mental illness can bring a person to their knees and be like, I'm done. I just need to do something because I need to do it. And that's it.
All right. I mean, that summed that up pretty well. I liked it, but now I have to flip that upside down now
Okay.
and ask you, what game pissed you off?
I knew I would have to answer this question, but also people are going to know the answer. People who have followed me for years will know this answer, and they're going to be like, oh, of course you would say that. Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. What?
I hated it. It was the worst experience in gaming I ever had.
Oh my God.
I hated it. Like, I also played that game on camera, mind you. There was racism. There were bugs. There were so many issues with it. That was the first time I got death threats ever. Was it during my review for that game?
I bet you did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm going through it. Yeah, I'm going through an entire review right now for Fallout New Vegas, and I have the entire thing. I'm setting up with whatchamacallit, I'm playing through Fallout 1, I'm playing through Fallout 2, and I'm doing all of that to set up my review for Fallout New Vegas that I'm currently working on as a big collaborative type thing. So I want to be able to make sure that, okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All for this review, because I feel like, and I shit you not, I just want the Fallout community to stop pissing me off because I do it so much. Like, I can respect them. I can respect some of them because some of them are my friends, and some of them are very passionate people about what they do and the modifications that they make. Some of your friends
disagree with you?
They disagree with me, but respectfully, and that I can understand. But whenever people come into my chat, like my comment section on the game, and say, "No, you're playing it wrong. That's why you don't like it," I just want to smack them.
Okay,
and
so
it's come to a point of where, like, I'm so sorry. Just to finish off the thought, like, it's come to a point of where, like, I want to be able to do this review just because, okay, you didn't think I did a thorough enough job in my first impressions. Okay, let's try to do this entire thing now that I know where to go in the game, and maybe that'll shut you guys up.
Out of curiosity, I'm wondering, is there a Fallout game you like, or are you just doing this to prove that you don't like any of the Fallouts?
It's not to prove that I don't like any of the Fallout games. It's to showcase a different opinion that's not sucking up to the games. Because there are so many game opinions and game walkthroughs and people saying, this is the best game ever. This is so amazing. This is, oh my god, this is a wonderful game. There are so many more opinions of people who just don't showcase them because they're afraid of the Fallout community. And I don't like any of the Fallout games. So I want to be able to showcase a different opinion than what people are not used to because they're in echo chamber where they absolutely love the games. Fine. I don't mind that people like the games, but so many people who have given me hate because I like the games, they don't do it respectfully. And I don't mind if you disagree with me, but do it respectfully. That's my only thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt the same way about Callisto Protocol. This is a brand new game, and
okay,
and like everyone, I feel like that the score is higher than it should be for that game, and I feel like everybody's only giving it praise because of how pretty it is. And I told everybody, "Yo, you strip the makeup off the makeup off of that, and it's a horrible game."
It's basically demon boxing. Like, I'm going through that game right now, and you are just in the ring with these different demons, and you're making the macaroni sounds when you're squishing them down, and I'm just like, I record part 2.
Sounds.
That's what I called my first episode, and I thought people were going to make sex jokes, but I was like, oh, thank goodness they didn't do that. Thank goodness. Oh my god. But no, it's one of those things of where, like, I'm recording the second episode that comes out tomorrow. I'm recording it tonight, and I really hope it gets better because I'm not seeing any story development at all.
The story's weird. I didn't hate the story. I just didn't like the gameplay that much at all. Like, And I played it when it
Yeah.
launched. So like all the
Oh
updates that are in
no.
it now weren't
Oh
available
no.
when I played it. So that healing when I have to take a knee, like I'm not sure if they still have that,
You
but like
take a knee.
before you take a knee, and I'm just like, dude, you're taking this out of your pocket. Why do you need to kneel to reach your neck? And then when you get up to like a schematic that you need to pick up, if you have too much health in your inventory or too much bullets, you have to sacrifice or waste one of them to pick up the
Yep.
schematic. And I'm just like, this is a piece of paper,
Doesn't make
right?
sense.
Or like this little piece, like, bro, like shove it in your shirt, shove it in your pocket. Like, dude, it's a schematic. This is not like a bazooka that you're grabbing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
So like there was, yeah, the way you feel about that Fallout is the way I'm feeling currently about like Callisto Protocol and also Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I tell you, I don't understand why people.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people think that one's better than Borderlands 3 or 2 or 1 or any of
I
them.
never
I
played
don't get
them,
it.
so
I don't get it. To me, that game is. Anyways, I'm getting on a tangent. Let's move on. Let's keep it moving.
seeing
So-
questions, and I don't know exactly how to answer some of these questions right now.
So Fallout was the game that you just absolutely despise, which is wild because you're going through all of them now.
That is not as well as Alan Wake. I absolutely hated Alan Wake. It was just a mess of a journey.
Yeah, yeah. I see Kevin saying she loves Alan Wake. Oh,
No. No.
Trolling.
No, Alan Wake was terrible.
Okay, now looking forward into this year and beyond, actually. Excuse me. What are the best, or what are the 3 games that you're probably looking forward to the most between this year and upcoming years? And it doesn't have to
Resident
be a game that's slated or has a date or anything.
I would have to say Resident Evil 4 Remake. I already pre-ordered that for the PS5, so I'm excited about that. Silent Hill 2 Remake. I'm even more excited about that. And Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Pretty
So
excited about Spider-Man 2.
I want to see you play and review Starfield.
No. No.
I want to see this.
No.
Because-
No, not happening. I'm not putting my money into another Bethesda game. They can no. They can suck it. I'm sorry.
Hey, if you have Game Pass, you can just do it there. If
I
you
don't.
have it,
But I don't get the Game Pass. That's the thing. Like, I don't buy any subscriptions unless I'm doing co-op for like a specific episode or something. So like, I get all my games physically if I can. If I can't, then I get it digitally. But yeah, no, I don't put my money into that.
No subscription services for you. So you don't even. Do you have PlayStation Plus Premium or anything?
No,
Do you even have the Essential?
nope, I don't.
Nothing. Okay. Wow.
Don't.
So
Yeah, I don't find a need for it. So
do you got Netflix, or do you buy
Nope.
all your movies too?
I mostly, if I buy movies, I will buy them very seldom. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I mostly like I'm working or I'm reading. So like my downtime is reading books.
Okay, wow. So yeah, you are
If-
not with the waste of any kind of money at all.
No, because like the thing is that with the economy how it is, I really have to crunch and I have to save. I'll be really honest with you. I only make $40 a month right now, so I don't make that much money.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you are penny pension, and I feel that here,
Yeah.
especially with having a 5-year-old. You know, like having a 5-year-old and trying to save up to get a house is just like it's a freaking nightmare, and you never
Oh,
know when it's
yeah,
going to end.
absolutely.
You never
Well,
know
that's
when it's going to end.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Where like ever since COVID, I feel like everything kind of went to the wayside. My business went away for video editing. I'm only just now starting to get back clients, so it's been a hustle.
Sorry to hear that. Hope things get better, but I want to reach back into the past one last time because I need to ask you, when it comes to games, past games, old ass games, games that are not around anymore, I want to know 2 games that you would grab from the past that are dead IPs and turn them in to AAA bangers, or even games that you find were underrated in the past that are no longer around that deserve like a full-fledged AAA budget to pump out a game.
I know which ones. Okay. The first Blood Rain game and the Matrix Reloaded game that came out for the GameCube.
Wow, you said the Matrix Reloaded. I haven't thought of that game in so freaking long.
I still have the original case for it and everything. Like, I loved that. I kept it. I have, what is it? What over there? I kept 3 GameCube games, and it was Matrix Reloaded, Resident Evil 1 Remake, and Resident Evil 0. Like, those were my top 3 back then. Even though I love Zelda. And, well, that's the thing. Like, I'm never giving those puppies up.
Good on you. Good on you. Yeah, I mean, Blood Rain, that would be dope. Jumping onto people sucking their bloods, all that. Man, that game was insane. That game was freaking nuts.
Especially the cringiness of it towards the end. We have the final cutscene where she just like flips him off. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. I need this energy, but in 4K.
Absolutely, gotcha. So my last few questions that I got for you. First one being, I ask these 2 questions at the end of every show. What frustrates you about gaming, and then what is a dream come true in gaming as a whole? So not just like one game or something, just like something that would like improve the longevity of gaming, or something that would be like monumental to you. To you. So let's go with the first one first. Let's get the dirty one out the way. What frustrates you in gaming as a whole?
I would have to say plot lines that go nowhere. Because if I'm looking at a game, I'm looking at, is the plot line good? Are the controls working with me properly the way they should? And is like the graphics and everything, are they up to par? The storyline has to be there. If I'm going to review a game, I'm reviewing it regardless, but ideally the story needs to be there. If it's going to be something like Fallout 3 or Alan Wake, where the story just goes nowhere, or it's incoherent, or it's convoluted at times, then that's just not okay for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that was easy and straight to the point with that one. Now, what would be a dream come true? And I mean, you can reach as high as the stars.
If they had something, oh gosh, I'm about to sneeze right now. Excuse me. Are you done, Nose? Okay, we're good. We're fine. So I would love it if I were to see something as immersive as sensory, like touch in gaming. So, like, let's say you have your controller, but you have something that you can hook up to your arm. That way, if like someone grabs you in a game, you can feel them grabbing you. And I would love for that to happen in gaming.
Wow, that sounds freaky.
Yeah, I would love, especially in a horror game. Like, let's say if like someone's, I don't know, like in Resident Evil 7, where his arm gets chopped off. I want there to be vibrations near the wrist where the wrist gets cut off. I would love to see that happen in gaming. That's sensory immersion.
Okay. I've heard of some sort of jacket like thing that you put on.
Yeah.
Where you get like in certain games, like when you get shot and whatnot, it like triggers certain parts of where you were shot in the video game and whatnot. That would be pretty dope. Have you ever heard of the like are you big into like using headphones when you play games?
For the most part, if I'm doing a walkthrough, I have to, like, kind of how I am right now, keep one ear off so I can hear what's going on around me in the background if someone's calling me or anything like that. So unless everyone's asleep upstairs, I can't fully immerse myself into a game. Like, I can't put both headphones on my ears.
Gotcha. I was gonna say just because I know Razer has a headphone product that
Yeah.
does. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I've seen
they
it.
have that like the haptic or not or like I forget what it's called, but they have like the feature to where like your headphones rumble and whatnot.
Yeah, the binaural stuff, it's pretty impressive.
That's super wild, but obviously they have a very short battery life on them. I think it's like 6 hours or 4 hours or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's the only downfall. I think it's because so much is going into it that a lot of battery life is being taken out of it.
Absolutely. But I thought that was really dope. But that would be your dream come true, is to like add like more full like body immersion into your video games.
I think so, because I think if someone is like, let's say for therapy purposes, if someone is dealing with PTSD, I think that would be a really good sensory immersion thing to help them with exposure therapy. Because when you're dealing with patients who have exposure therapy and getting them exposed to whatever that negative stimuli is, it can really help them like recover from a past trauma that they're having. So why not, if you can do it in a safe way through a video game, that could be a good form of therapy for them.
Wow, that's freaking nuts. Are you excited? Because I see Kevin just brought this up in the chat. For the PS2 or for the PlayStation VR 2. Are you excited? Are you going to buy it? Where are you at on that?
See, the thing is, I'm excited about it, but also I'm not gonna like put a few $100 right now into a PSVR. I've never played VR before, so it's something of where I need to be like know that I'll be committed to buying it. But for right now, there aren't enough games for me to even make a full blown decision. Because right now they have the Resident Evil VR, they have
Mm-hmm.
Horizon VR, and they have I think a few other indie VR titles. But there's not enough on there right now for me to say like yes, I'm gonna buy that.
I figured since you were such into Resident Evil, you'd be on that train like immediately.
No, I have to be a good adult and do my due diligence and save money, and I don't want to do it, but I have to.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what, this was a fantastic show, and I really appreciate you for setting your time aside and allowing me to interview you. It was a hell of an experience, and I hope you had a good time.
I really did. Thank you so much for having me on. We planned this like I think a few weeks before the new year even started, and I was already hyped about it because I know that like whenever I get asked on to do different podcasts and shows and everything like that, they like are always like so excited about gaming, and it makes me excited in turn. So whenever I see someone excited about what I'm excited about, it's just
Yeah, I know, isn't it? It just warms the heart, right?
it
Makes you
does.
feel
Yeah.
good, and it gets you excited, and you know that for the most part, like as long as we can, click a little bit, that I mean, there's always something to talk about. There's just always something to talk about.
And
Whether
plus, it
it's
makes me feel like I'm doing something right by getting invited onto something. So.
you're absolutely doing something right, and you need to keep doing what you're doing. And as a matter of fact, while we're on the subject, please let everybody know one last time where they can find you, and like social media or gamer, whatever, like tags or whatnot.
So for privacy reasons, I don't share my gamer tags,
Fair
but on
enough.
my Twitter is Huggable Hipster, my YouTube is at Huggable Hipster, and my Instagram is either supposed to be at Huggable Hipster or Huggable Hipster Gaming.
Fair enough. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Once again, thank you so much. I hope the chat had a really good time. I know you and Doc Dark going at it was very enjoyable for me to watch. You were hitting him over the head with some things that he didn't exactly see coming, and I thought it was fantastic. Christos, it was dope seeing you come through, checking out the stream. I'm excited to have you on the show next week. Kevin, I appreciate you for sticking around, as well as many other people like Loco Zaki, Cozy Beluga, all you guys. Thank you so much for coming into today's episode. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of stuff. We'll be doing more of this all year long. But as for tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a stream with Loke and Cozy. Like always, we're going to be talking about all of the wild news that's been happening lately. We're going to be cracking jokes and just having a good time. Make sure you see us at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Central. We'll be doing that there tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming through, whether you're here now or watching this after the live stream. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. And as I always say, keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, you guys. Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. Come on. Come and talk to me.
I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not just baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you playing. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see, we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, Boosie, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you have promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it. That shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying.